This is Doc Ock coming to you live and direct from Black Facts headquarters Central. Woo wee, we got a show for y'all today. We got a show for you. Yeah, buddy. I know it's taking us a little while to get here. We been working around the clock on this, trying to get everything organized and fit all the pieces together. So when we bring it to you, we can say it's in a form that's good enough to present. It might not be in its final, absolute final form, but it's at least in a good enough form to present it and give you a good idea of what it is that we're actually trying to say, what we're trying to, what kind of message we're trying to put across. Because we do have a message. This is true. We do have a message for you today. And as you already know, we've been working on holidays this month. And so today we're moving on to the biggest holiday of the year in the Western world, which is definitely Christmas. And even in some parts of the Eastern world, although primarily we're talking about Europe, the Caribbean, the Americas, okay? Christmas, big holiday. But most of us don't know diddly squat about Christmas or the elements that have been put together to make up this, what we call this Christmas holiday. So we've taken time out to do some research into Christmas in various parts of the world and put together a little presentation for you to give you an idea of, to give you another perspective, put it that way, to give you a different perspective on the holiday that you've been celebrating ever since you were knee-high to a grasshopper. But before we get started, you know what we want you to do. We need you to go ahead, give us a like, go ahead, give us a thumbs up. If you're watching this on YouTube, which you should be, if you want to see the full presentation, you best be on YouTube. Otherwise, you're going to miss all the bomb imagery that we've been putting together over here. And believe me, you're not going to want to miss this imagery because we got some very vibrant images to bring you, mostly in color. We do use some black and white images every now and then, but we try to give you as much in full living color as possible so we can leave as little to the imagination as possible. Now, after you go ahead and give us that like and that thumbs up, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to the Tubular Black Facts channel. You got a button right below, and there's also a donation button down there so you can donate some funds to Black Facts to keep us on the air, to give us the time and the space to be able to continue to do this kind of groundbreaking research. A lot of our research has been done in advance, but it's still taking us more time than we would have imagined to put that, to cull all that information down and give it to you in a efficacious manner. There we go. Sorry I had to use that word, efficacious. It doesn't mean what it sounds like it means. It just means a good way. All right. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and do our proverb of the day. We got a good proverb for you today. Winding down on our key Swahili proverbs. We're coming down to the last of them. And today's proverb is Mkuki kwa unguruwe kwa mwanadamu uchungu. And that means a spear should only be used against a pig. For human beings, it's very painful. It's very painful. Okay? Yeah. So, don't spear your friends and your family. Save that for the pigs. Because we know y'all going to eat some pig out there. We know there's some pork chop chicken eaters out there. We know y'all out there. We don't eat it, but you might. And if you do, that's on you. More power to you. Meanwhile, let's move on with our Christmas presentation. So most of us remember Christmas from our youth. We want to go, we want to take you all the way back to your youth, okay? And most of us remember Christmas from our youth as something that was very a joyous time. I remember it as a time when I would go and get knee deep in a catalog, Sears and Roebuck, J.C. Penney's. Oh yeah, because they had lots and lots and lots of toys for all the good little boys and girls. But it was definitely an enchanting world of make believe that had been created just for me, I thought, just for me. Until one day when one of my little friends bust my bubble and told me Santa Claus wasn't real. I was like, what? What you mean he ain't real? My parents told me he was real. He must be real. I can't trust my parents. It was a blow. That was a blow. It let me know I could not trust my parents. Actually, could not trust the parents because they would lie to. They had been lying to me all this time, telling me that Christmas was real when Christmas was not real. It was make believe. And here we begin with the first part of Christmas that is fictional. One of the most fictional parts, Santa Claus. Now, it didn't start off this way. This is what it came down to. Originally, they were dealing, when Christmas time came, it was not Santa Claus that was bringing the boys and girls gifts of candy and whatever he was bringing, toys, etc. But it was St. Nicholas. Okay? It was old St. Nick. And here you go. Here's some modern reenactors, one of which is dressed up as St. Nick. We'll go into what the other reenactor is portraying here in a little bit. But for now, just let it suffice to know that that's Santa and one of his helpers. And then you can see here that St. Nick takes after, if you look at his outfit, you see it's got the cross on the top of his mitre, and he's wearing a mitre just like the bishops and the Pope sitting over there. So this is this is very much connected to Christianity. And here we go, there's Santa Claus. So St. Nick became Santa Claus, or St. Claus, St. Nicholas. You see, so you can see that's closely related. You see, he's still got the shepherd's crook, just like the Pope and the bishops have the shepherd's crook. He's got the mitre. He's wearing the long flowing robes. Okay, we got different colors, red and white. So that's a little bit different, but not that much different from the images we saw before. So very close correlation. And notice you see a bunch of black people around him with big hoop earrings, etc. We'll deal with them in a little bit. And then here's the Pope, actually. And he's wearing is that a mitre? I think that's a mitre he's wearing there too. Sometimes they wear the mitre, sometimes they wear the papal crown. But now, what if we portrayed Santa in a green outfit? What would you think if you saw an image of Santa wearing green instead of red, or purple, or blue, chartreuse, kente cloth prints? Wouldn't that be odd? Just a little bit. But then here we see an old greeting card of St. Nicholas. Again, you see him with the mitre, and there he goes with the shepherd's crook. And he's not wearing the familiar red and white that we're all used to. There is a character wearing red in the background, though. Now here we have some characters here you might recognize as well. And what are they doing? They're bringing Christmas gifts to all the good girls and boys, just like Santa Claus. The only difference is they've got their faces covered with their masks and their hoods. But again, they're wearing the long flowing robes. Don't these look a lot like the images that we see over here? Looks very similar. Okay? Also coming out of a religious background. Here we go here with another image of St. Nicholas. Oh, but why are the children running? Why are they running away? And it looks like there's fruit coming out of the basket of the little of Santa's helper there. Yeah, we'll get into Santa's helper here in a minute. And then here's another one of a Pope with a black Madonna. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. Huh. And who are they supposed to be? Notice that their little pointy caps are much taller than the ones that we saw before. Theirs are very short, relatively speaking. These here, because you couldn't get them in the door, maybe. Maybe that's why they made them short, so you could get indoors easier. I don't know. But here they are outside, walking up and down the street with these very tall caps on. Are they all part of the same club? No. These are people who are penitent, who have committed a sin, and they want to be absolved of their sins, and so they're doing penance by walking down the street wearing these hoods, and they've covered their faces so that people will focus more on praying for them, that they be elevated to a more godly position than to focus on what they look like. And that's why they wear the hoods. And notice again the colors. They've got the white outfits, but they've got the blue aprons in the front. Okay, a different kind of symbol in the front. Now here's another one of Saint Nick with one of Saint Nick's helpers. Doesn't he look odd? Have you ever seen an image like this connected with Santa Claus? Maybe, maybe not. If you did you know what you were looking at? That is the question. And here's St. Nicholas or Santa Claus in a classroom with children today. So these are not just old photos that I picked up from 1855 and I'm showing it to you and it has nothing to do with the present. No, this is the present. We're still in the present. Consider this to be my gift to you. Yes, in the present. And here is another one with Santa Claus and one of his helpers. Now you're seeing the helper mainly in the background, but you're going to see the helper come out here in a little bit. And here are some other outfits like the ones we saw the men wearing earlier that were delivering the Christmas presents to the children. And there's some images in the background. This is a display in a museum. Images in the background of some of the club activities. The club activities that they like to engage in. Cross burnings, lynchings, clan claverns, stuff like that. But notice the outfits are very different in terms of their colors. Okay? Similar in every other way, except and they're better made, actually, in the colors. Now, here we have the Santa Claus that we grew up with. An image of the Santa Claus that we grew up with a bottle of Coca-Cola in his hand, and looks like he's decorating the tree. I thought the tree should already be decorated by the time he gets there, but at any rate, he looks like he's working hard there. And here we go again with Santa Claus and two helpers this time. Notice that they do have horns. Now, where are these images coming from, and why do I keep going back and forth with these images of the Santa Claus as we know him and Santa Claus as we've never seen him before? Well, it's all to just give you the idea that there are many ways that Santa is portrayed around the world. There are a number of different ways, I should say, that Santa is portrayed around the world, and everywhere all places do not portray Santa as we do here, as being a very fat dude with a long, white, fluffy beard. Okay, that's an American idea, and now we're going to talk about how that American idea originated. Well, it comes out of the Civil War and the need for the South and the North to reconcile. And even before the war was over, they were thinking of ways to try to begin to get people to think as one again. And Christmas, they felt, was something that everybody could appreciate. And so this is a drawing by a man by the name of Thomas Nast. It appeared up in a Harper's Weekly, and what, 1860 something, I'm not sure the exact year, but in the 1860s it appeared in Harper's Weekly. And it's a woman praying for her man who is still at war with the North or the South, I can't tell which one exactly, on Christmas Eve, wishing that they were together on Christmas Eve. And you can see he's looking very penitent there. He's looking very sad. Okay, and then here we go back to Santa Claus with his helper. Yeah, notice he's got the switches in his hand, sticks in his hand. And here goes Santa Claus with his helper again. Notice the chains that the his helper is wearing. And then here's the man, Thomas Nast. And if you notice, we'll show some other images here of the modern day Santa Claus that Thomas Nast invented. He is actually the inventor of the modern Santa Claus. Notice the mustache and the beard. And we go back, notice the mustache and the beard. He's got a fuller mustache and beard, but he actually developed the characters that he used to depict Santa Claus. He used the models for those characters were people that he knew, like himself apparently, and his family members. And then we'll just go through a series of pictures here. We got Santa Claus on the chimney waiting for the children to go to sleep. And by the way, what is he doing while he waits? Smoking his pipe. Smoking his pipe. We don't know what he's smoking. Okay, but he's smoking that pipe before he goes down the chimney. Notice he comes out cleaner than the Board of Health when he comes down the chimney. Okay, he didn't change colors. He doesn't even look dirty. And here he is playing the family's piano while they sleep, waiting for him to come and deliver presents. And it looks like he's maybe making some long distance phone calls as he continues smoking that long pipe that he likes to smoke. And here he is molesting one. Here he is with one of the children who is resting. Hard to say exactly what he's doing or why he's in the bedroom with the baby, okay, at night. And he's got mistletoe, it looks like, right there on the child's bed. Yeah, that is mistletoe. You see the little berries over there on the side and the leaves on the bed. And then he's wearing mistletoe on his hat. So whenever you stand next to him, he gets to give you a kiss. Yeah, that makes him a very suspect character in my book. But at any rate, these are all pictures done by Thomas Nast back in the 1860s. And at last but not least, we got this favorite here of an American Santa, because Santa is definitely an American idea. And here he goes on his reindeer. Notice the clothes he's wearing, those tights, like a superhero. Okay, kind of a rather rotund superhero. Now, in the 60s, in particular, maybe even before that, but definitely in the 60s, black people said, hey, we would like a black Santa, because we don't see how a white Santa is going to be coming in our neighborhood at night, at midnight, and coming down our chimney, which we don't even have, and coming into our house. Basically, he's breaking and entering and dropping off no presents. It just doesn't make sense. So we're thinking we would like to have a black Santa. And they asked for a black Santa in the Netherlands, and this is what they got. Zwarte Piet. Yep, Black Pete. They didn't get Santa, but they got Santa's helper, who works for free and is black with kinky hair. So let me see. Let's put this all together. You got a white dude from Holland, okay, the Netherlands. He's got black helpers that work for free and have big red lips, wear kinky hair, and are dressed up like some Moors. So, what's the message exactly here? Yeah, yeah. There's a message here other than that this dude is giving away free goods during Christmas time. That's the biggest holiday of the year in America, and here he is. He's giving stuff away, and he's using people to help him give the stuff away and make the stuff, I would assume, that are working for free. Yeah. Yeah. I know what we call that over here. I don't know what they call it over there, but we got a word for that over here, and it's called slavery. And here we go here with Spotted Pete. Oh, doesn't Spotted look happy? But if you look really close, you notice Spotted Pete has blue eyes because he's not a black person. This is a white person dressed up in blackface wearing black gloves with a afro wig on. And this is causing a lot of consternation right now in Holland, in the Netherlands. A lot of people upset about Spotted Pete, and they're trying to do away with Spotted Pete, while the Dutch that have been there for, the historically Dutch, whatever you want to call them, they are resenting this action against Spotted Pete because he's such a beloved and friendly character, and he brings gifts and toys to the children all the time, and he's, it's part of a tradition, okay, that they just don't want to give up. So they're upset about it. And so they've tried to recast Spotted Pete as a white guy who comes down the chimney and then gets soot on his face. And that's why he's black. It's not that he's racially black. He's just black because of the soot from the chimney. But Santa Claus comes down the same chimney, but for some reason, he don't come out black. He comes out cleaner than the Board of Health. And as you notice, he has a white collar on, and that white collar ain't dusty, dirty, dingy, or black either. So, and then you have to explain, how does that make the coming down the chimney make the lips red and the hair kinky? Yeah. Something's kinky about this story, I'll tell you that. It's not playing well. And then here we have another one of these, is that a group of penitents? Maybe it's a group of penitents marching on D.C., 30,000 strong, 1920. But apparently, nobody was afraid of them. You don't see no police around. You don't see any armed troops around, no National Guard or anything. They're marching 30,000 strong down a major street in D.C. that goes right to the Capitol without a problem. Nobody's afraid of them. But one young brother wearing a mask, some people are highly fearful of him, and maybe even of some of us without masks. Here again, we have Santa Claus and his helper. Now, this one is not, this is in Germany, okay? This is, this is not Spotted Pete. This is, I forget what they call him in Germany right now. It's something like Santa Claus, but it's maybe a little bit different. But at any rate, he's got his helper with him, but his helper has a different name and is a little bit different. Although you see he's kind of dark with a dark beard and everything. His name is Krampus. And we're going to learn more about Krampus. Here's Santa, and Krampus. Notice he's got cloven hooves and a tail, horns, and his tongue sticking out and sticks in his hand. So all you biblical scholars out there, I'll let y'all interpret who you think that just might be. Santa and Krampus coming down the hill. One white, one black, one evil. And then here we have some young black people that apparently they were not even wearing masks that people were afraid of. Yeah, this is just for contrast. I just threw them in there. Now, we get into Krampus. Scary Krampus and Merry Christmas. Which one would you like to have? A scary Krampus or a Merry Christmas? Notice the sack on his back, you see little children inside the sack. Those are all the bad children. That's where they go. He takes them back with him, not to the North Pole, because in Europe, Santa ain't from the North Pole. Santa is from El Al-Andalus. In other words, Spain, where the Moors were at. So he's black, he's scary, and he comes from Spain. He grabs up all the bad children, takes them back to Spain, and then he eats them. So he's also cannibal. Wow. I wonder who he could be representing. And then we'll just flick through some of these pictures of Santa Claus and Krampus. And these are actually people. They're not real animals, but they look like they could be real animals because they're very elaborately costumed. And this is how people celebrate Krampusnacht, which comes on December 6th, before Christmas, today, right now, in Germany, all over Germany, you find this. And in other Germanic countries, Switzerland, you find it, Slovenia, there's a bunch of different countries that will celebrate Christmas, but before the Christmas, they have Krampusnacht. And these Krampuses come with a vengeance. And all of the bad children, like you see one there crying in the background, all the bad children go in his basket. He takes them back with him to Spain, and he eats them. Now here we have the picture drawn by Thomas Nast, his most famous picture, again with Santa promoting tobacco from the tobacco companies. Doubtful activity. But notice he's got a child under his arm. And it looks very tame here. It looks like it's probably a doll. But as you'll see here in a minute, there's a question as to why he has that doll under his arm. And we'll get to that in a second. Here again, we have Krampus and a more full-throated version of Krampus called, and his big red sack. And the question is, what's going in the big red sack? And here we have a statue I visited in the capital of Switzerland. So this is actually in Bern, Switzerland. And you see here the image on top. The whole thing actually, sits way up in the air. And it's on the top of a large column. And so it's called the Kindlifresser Brunnen. And Kindlifresser is child eating. Brunnen is fountain. So this is the child eating fountain. So water spouts out at the bottom of it, and it's got a water pool of water around it. But the Kindlifresser Brunnen, and you can see here that he is literally biting the head off that child, and he's got 7 more under his arms in a sack, tied around his waist with a belt. Okay, he is going for it. Yeah. He's eating the children. And if you notice, there's some resemblance between that pose with him dressed in his red and green. By the way, this image is 600 years old. It's been sitting there and they've been refurbishing it for 600 years. This image here is vintage 1860 something. Okay, because Thomas Nast was born in 1840. So this had to be 1860s to 1880s. Somewhere around there where he came up with this image. So the red and the green colors were already in play with the Kindlifresser Brunnen. So then the question that calls Santa's identity into severe question. Who is this guy who's in the bedroom of our children at night? Now I know you might think, oh, Kofi's over there. He's the Grinch who's stealing my Christmas. No, I am not the Grinch who's stealing your Christmas. You know, I'm black. I am not green. Okay? I'm not about that. All I'm doing is just giving you another perspective on something that you thought you knew already, but maybe didn't know as well as you thought you knew. Exactly what it was that was being celebrated and how these symbols all go together, because a lot of symbology going on in these images. Just like this one here with this, at the time, it was Governor Reagan promoting, well, he might not even have been governor. He might just have been an actor at this point. But Ronald Reagan promoting Chesterfields, the smooth smoke. recommended by 9 out of 10 doctors back in the day. 9 out of 10 doctors recommended that people smoke Chesterfields because they were the smooth smoke. Hope these are not the same doctors working for the CDC today. I hope, or their children for that matter. And then we're wrapping this up here with just a few more images. This is a children's book called Christmas Joys. And as you notice, Krampus is prominently displayed. And here's a Krampus parade, I think from maybe about 2019, with a number of Krampuses in the background and a little girl looking like she's scared out of her wits. And then we see here an image, looks a lot like the Death of Superman comic that came out a few years back. Yeah, but this one looks like Santa got killed by Krampus. Yeah. And last but not least is the cover of one of our books, Black Facts Volume 32, all about Santa Claus and his helpers. So if you'd like to learn more, let us know. We'll make sure you get a copy in your hands. Santa Claus and His Helpers, Volume 32, Black Facts, Educational Research is the publisher of the book. So there you go. And you see on the front of this one, we got prominently displayed Santa Claus and Svarta Pete. So that's our presentation for today. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be coming back with another one tomorrow. We got 2 more days of presentations before the month is over. And we're going to follow this one up right here with some video, a playlist. We're going to post up a playlist on YouTube and on Facebook, and it will be entitled, What Does Santa Claus Look Like? So look for that, and or who is Santa Claus? I think we'd title Who is Santa Claus, because you're going to see some videos in there of other people talking about Svarta Pete, Santa Claus, Krampus, etc., etc., etc. Very entertaining. A lot of little short videos. Just check it out. We're going to be doing this kind of presentation the rest of the week, and then we'll have some special ones for you that we've already prepped on the weekend, on Saturday and Sunday. So hope you enjoyed yourselves and learned a little bit. Make sure to spread the love. Tell your friends and your family that what it is that we're doing over here, and that they might want to check it out for themselves, because it's important what we expose our children to, because it puts images and ideas in their head, and sometimes we may not want to put those ideas and images in their head. It sounds fun, it seems good, but everything that's free ain't free. Sometimes it can cost you very dearly. But of course, what we do here is free, and it won't cost you dearly. So go ahead and give us a like, give us a thumbs up. Peace out without a doubt. We'll be back tonight at 9, continuing on with our story, Never Caught, the story of Ona Judge, an enslaved African woman who escapes the clutches of George and Martha Washington. Yes, she escapes the clutches of George and Martha Washington and is able to make a whole new life for herself in America. It's a children's story, but it's for adults as well. So tune in tonight, 9 p.m. EST. Be here or be over there and left out in the cold while my story is being told. Peace out without a doubt, y'all. Let me go ahead and give a wave to Lawrence and Ansar. Who else is out there? Sydney. There goes Sydney. And Imani. Glad y'all been checking in today. Uh-oh, what happened there? Looked like my camera flipped around. What happened to the image? Where'd it go? Well, okay. Can't fix that right now. I'll fix this here though.